Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Stefan's Kitchen, and this week, let's cook homemade beef soup. And this is a very easy, very hearty meal, always makes you feel nice and warm, and most people usually like soup. So we're going to start out first with a nice roasted beef. If you don't feel like cutting it up on your own, by all means go get a package of the stewing beef. That is perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable. Makes it a little bit easier, but we're just going to cut this one up on our own. So we're going to divide this up and we're going to chop it into smaller cubes like this. And that way it's going to be able to brown much easier so that we can make a nice tasting soup. And yeah, you don't want to cook the roast as just a roast because you won't get as much browning on your meat, and you won't get as much flavor out of your meat that way, because then you'll be just boiling pieces of roast beef. And it's not the same. So what we're going to do here is we're going to first season, of course, using our ground black pepper. I almost forgot what I was going to say there then. And of course, next we're going to be using sea salt, or I use sea salt. You can use any salt you want. Usually the sea salt's better than your iodized or table salt, because, I don't know, people usually like using that. But next we're going to use some garlic powder. And again, we're just going to let the meat cook enough until it browns. And once it's browned up real nice, we're going to add some beef broth. Now first, I thought maybe it was only going to use one, but instead we're going to actually use 2 containers of beef broth. Now I know if you really wanted to, you can make your own beef broth. Go get the beef bones, or you can save beef bones if you want, because you can freeze beef bones and make your own beef stock if you really want to. The thing is, it's a little bit more expensive. It will taste much more better, and I probably will do stocks sometime in the future, just so you guys can see how to go about making them if you ever feel like you have the endeavor to go and do that. So like I said, as you can see here, we're gonna have to add one more package of stock, and then we're gonna let the pot come back to a boil before we start adding our vegetables. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add onion. Now, you could char the onion if you want to, like cook it in with the meat maybe first. I prefer to keep it raw because I find you get a nice flavor out of it. You don't lose any of the flavor. And it stays very aromatic. It makes the broth taste much better too. So next we're going to add turnip. And this is a thing that we usually have down here in Newfoundland. I'm not sure what everybody else usually puts in their soups. We don't usually put in celery. Some people do. I never do. I'm not a huge fan of celery at all. Neither is my girlfriend. So there we go. We just added in a little bit of turnip. And next, I forgot to actually show you guys the chopped up, but I took, well, that was actually 1 large turnip, and this was 2 large carrots that I put in there, and 1 large onion, in case you're wondering. And next, we're going to add in our potato. And I like to use between 4 and 6 potatoes, and I like to chop them around the same size as meat almost. And we're going to let that boil until all the vegetables get nice and tender, and until they're at a texture that you're comfortable with. Now, as you can see, here's our final product. I actually didn't take up a bowl. It's one of the things I forgot to do. I've done the same thing to hamburger stew as well, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a very, very easy recipe. And as you can see here, it was that you almost need in 1 more container of broth here, but it turned out really well. We ate every bit. Nothing was thrown out or anything. And I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. And by all means, if you have any, if you want to put up a video response or have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And as always, thank you all for watching. I'm Stefan for Stefan's Kitchen. See you, everyone.